You've been requesting it, and I've heard you. When is the update coming to the PlayStation platform? Let's do some research. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Fable1, your host as usual, and today our topic is about the PlayStation 4. Before we get into the details, I do want to remind you guys that we have an active giveaway running right now. Just go to the video in the top right corner and go to the description to find the Gleam link to enter the giveaway. Also, if you do like videos like these, don't forget to leave a little like and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like these in the future. But back to PlayStation 4. I do have to give a little disclaimer because all the footage you're seeing right now is not PlayStation 4 footage, but it's all PC footage. I do not own a PlayStation 4 and I'm not planning on getting one, but I do consider the PlayStation 4 players as an important part of the Planetside 2 community. Some PC players may think it's one big mistake from the get-go when they ported Planetside 2 to the PC. But well guys, that's a reality, and I do think because it's reality we also need to give some love to the PlayStation 4 community as well. We are all part of the same distorted Planetside family, so I think we need to accept that for the future. However, I do have the feeling that sometimes the developers see PlayStation 4 as the black sheep of the family. PlayStation 4 does not get the same events, PlayStation 4 does not get the same updates, PlayStation 4 does not get the same free weapon codes, go on and go on and go on. Of course, there is a reason for that. The PlayStation 4 is not the same as a PC. It has less processing power and has a different architecture to the PC. I will go into details about the architecture a bit later, but I also want to point out that the PC still has the biggest amount of players. Because the PC has the biggest population, it also has the highest priority. But you can always ask yourself, isn't that like a chicken egg story? Because if there was more priority for the PlayStation 4, wouldn't there be more PlayStation 4 players as well? Well, that's the big question, of course. The cool thing, we might actually get an answer to that question soon. As you might know, the PC version got an amazing big update lately. The patch brought DirectX 11 architectural changes, and as a robot faction, and many other things as well. There was quite some hype around this patch because it was the biggest change since 2016, but it also had some downside. There were game-breaking bugs, really bad server latency, but overall it will make game more future-proof. Also kind of funny, the latest patch brought some changes from the PlayStation 4 to the PC. For example, the starting screen, but also the automatic squad join. Yes, you heard me right, you saw it first on the PlayStation 4. But okay, big patch to the PC, and what the PlayStation 4 gets? Not much. Not yet at least, not yet. I think that the Planetside 2 team also sees that the PlayStation 4 feels kind of let down by the developers. So Nick Silva reacted with the following.
Yes, PS4. PS4, it's been rough for you guys, and I apologize that we could have done a better job up to this point supporting you guys, but this DX11 update actually has implications for PS4 as well. There won't be as large of a performance update with the PS4, and there's still a lot more tech that we have to bring up to snuff on that particular platform, but we're so much closer to making it happen. And so the long story short is that on PS4 that you guys can expect to see an update in this coming months. I can't commit to a date quite yet, but it's going to be hopefully before before we're too deep into the summer here. That it just will vastly improve not performance but stability of the platform. Mm-hmm. Performance-wise, there should be a small boost. But the big thing that I'm most excited for on PS4 with that particular technical update is asset loading improvements. So basically, the loading times that I think are pretty terrible on PS4 right now, they're terrible in a lot of games, will be vastly improved. So when you're moving between zones, you won't have to sit there and stare at that same loading screen with the little guy on the biolab.
The T-pose.
Yeah. T-pose biolab guy. Once you see him, you can't unsee him.
So, just as a short summary from what Nick Silva said, you will see better stability, a little bit better performance, but also more important, better loading times. I've never seen this T-pose guy before, but I can imagine it gets pretty annoying if you see him over and over again. Having said that though, let's go into details about, first of all, the stability, then DirectX 11 or performance more or less, and finally about the better loading times. First of all, the stability. What I've heard from many PlayStation 4 users is that you guys experience a lot of basically blue screens of death. You then need to restart your PlayStation 4 again, which I can understand is very frustrating. I do think the team has finally found the issue and they are working on resolving it right now. That will mean for you in the future less crashes and more fun. Then let's go on with the better performance. Nick Silva mentioned a little bit of more performance. But wait a minute, didn't the PC get like huge improvements in performance with DirectX 11? Why isn't the PlayStation 4 getting this? The following part might sound a bit technical, but let me try to explain it to you. Like I said before, the PlayStation 4 is not a PC. They might share a few characteristics, like for example the processing unit inside the PlayStation 4. It is quite similar to the tech AMD uses in their PC hardware as well. The biggest difference though is not the hardware but the software inside. Your PlayStation 4 does not run on Windows. What it uses instead is its own Orbis OS. This Orbis OS is basically a fork from FreeBSD, and that is a Unix-like Linux operating system. As you might know, the DirectX technology is owned by Microsoft. Sony chose to not use DirectX, but instead they went with GNMX. GNMX and also GNM are Sony's own graphics APIs. They do work kinda similar to how the Direct 3D systems work, but it is impossible to simply port the DirectX 11 chains one-on-one to the PlayStation 4. However, and this is really important, Sony uses its own PlayStation shader language, also known as PSSL. DirectX 11 has its own shader language, called HLSL. Apparently, these two languages look a lot more alike than before with DirectX 9. This might be the reason why we will see some performance increases also on the PlayStation 4, even without DirectX 11. Again, a little disclaimer though, I have never worked with the software developer kit from Sony, so I have literally no clue. But all I can do is educated guessing, right? Let's move on to the loading times as well. The developer team of Planetside 2 has completely reworked the whole item system in Planetside 2. Right now, on PC, we do have item 2.0, but I also think this item 2.0 patch will also be included in the next big update for PlayStation 4. Just speaking from my own experience on the PC, I've got the feeling that loading screens load twice as fast right now. So what that means for me is less waiting, more fighting and more fun. That's not the only thing. Also in general, my PlayStation 2 file has decreased in size. Right now the whole Planetside 2 file is only 10.7 GB. I don't know how big the file will be on the PlayStation 4, but again I can only imagine that it will be smaller than before. I know that on consoles it's kinda always a hassle to expand your memory, so maybe this will make your life a bit easier. I do have to mention one thing though that is important for all the 3 points we just made. The PlayStation 4 is a relatively weak machine. It is still using HDD instead of SSD as storage, it doesn't have the fastest APU inside, and the shared memory for both the GPU as well as the CPU part of the system might be a bottleneck. Yes, performance wise I'm sure you will improve, but take it with a little grain of salt, it won't be that big of an improvement. At least I think stability will be a big one, the loading times will be a big one, but don't expect any wonders. Aside from all the technological changes, I do expect also some gameplay changes. I think the members on the PlayStation 4 will also get the NSOps, so the 4th faction, as well as the new event with the end. Maybe also you will receive a new spawn system, but right now the PlayStation 4 spawn system already works a lot differently than the PC ones, so I'm not sure about that one. But okay Faber, when do you expect all these good things to come to PlayStation 4? Well, Nick Silva said in the coming months, before we are late into the summer. It's so very vague, I don't know, is September still summer? I think you guys have to be patient. Right now, the PC patch I think has some priority because there are still some bugs that needs to be smashed, so that will take some time. But I think you guys will be next. Again, you might feel like a second-class citizen right now in the community, but I really think it's important for the whole Planetside community that they right now make sure they fix the game on PC. The best advertisement a game can have is a good working game. The latest patch on PC showed us that there is still a foundation for a future Planetside 2. On PC, we're seeing everyday higher peaks with overall players, which I think is amazing. Instead of declining with population, we're on the rise again. The renewed interest in Planetside 2 also has an effect on the PlayStation platform. Right now I'm showing some server stats from the Planetside 2 Visu website, and that shows that right now we also have on the PC the biggest population we've seen in the whole year. So just my message to all of you guys, no, the developers haven't forgotten you guys. It will take some time though, just so be patient, well, good things will come in the end. Before we end the video though, I do want to give some special attention to one of the outfits on the Genadin server. I received an email from Logan, and I kind of forgot that I had an email for Fable 1, so I'm sorry for the late response. But okay, the message stated that a new outfit called the 715th Legion was looking for new fresh recruits. He continues that it will be a milsim outfit, so more or less a military simulation, and we're really focused on doing tactical and strategic gameplay. Clear voice communication is an important part for the 715th Legion. They will also offer trainings and many other things. If you play on the PlayStation 4 and like what you hear right now about this new outfit, you can contact them with an email address in the description line below. Again, I do not own a PlayStation 4 myself and I haven't played with the guys, so I can't give them my complete stamp of approval, but I do like communities and projects like these that really try to help the Planetside community forward, so that's why I also, do a little shout out. If you want to get in contact with me about similar things, or maybe an outfit spotlight on PC as well, you can send me an email to fable1@outlook.com, but it will be easier if you just go to my Discord, link in the description down below, and join our Discord. From there on, it would be the easiest if you just sent me a private message on Discord, but a simple hello on the chat channel on Discord is also very welcome, of course. Having said that though, this is it for today guys. I am Fable1, and I will see you soon with some more content.